Back here with Greg Jennings, and we are going viral. This week, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings will face the Packers. Check out this poster from a young Vikings fan from this past Sunday. Hey, Fox, they say that 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 Packer fans made me. How awesome is that?
That's awesome.
That is pretty good right there.
Jenna, are you okay with the fact that the little boy knows how he got there?
What does that mean?
Well, oh, man. What do you think the sign means, Jenna?
2 Packer fans. You know, I get
Right,
that.
so that's what he's saying. He's a little young.
He said, I understand.
Yeah, he's saying, I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
You're
I
okay?
get it. Yes.
You've had the conversation with your girls?
That is not what happened.
That is not what happened? That's none of
we
our
have
business?
not had that
Should
yet.
we go further?
No.
I mean, this is
Hang out on that.
No, this is a
Can you
strong
imagine
Vikings fan.
if Chris got called in to explain that
Chris
to my
had the
girls?
birds and the bees conversation
You
with
want
your
to come in and
girls?
have the birds and the bees conversation with my girls?
I have a 25-year-old daughter. Yes, absolutely. The birds and the bees, they for
Awesome.
real.
I'm free on
And the
Thursday.
bees stink.
Yes, they do.
Okay?
And they don't die after they stink.
Greg's got one right now. He's trying to raise up the right way.
Awesome. I got a slot open on Friday. I'm gonna slide you right in there.
No problem.
All right, sticking with the matchup between 2 of Greg's former teams, the Packers and the Vikings, Aaron Rodgers got the win and possibly the loss on Sunday. An absolutely heroic effort coming back from what Rodgers, well, what we now know is he had a sprained knee to mount the most improbable of comebacks against the Bears. That was the win, but at what cost, as we still don't know if he can play this week against the Vikings. Rodgers didn't practice, but he did meet with the media.
I mean, I want to play, obviously, but just taking it one day at a time, see how it feels tomorrow, and see how it feels Friday, Saturday, and then hopefully ready to go Sunday.
All right, Greg, if Rodgers does play, obviously we're not sure yet, but if he does, what's going to be the biggest key for him going up against this Vikings defense, a stingy Vikings defense?
His mobility. When you look at this Vikings defense, obviously, number one, Aaron Rodgers wants to play.
Do you think he's going to play, though?
I think he's going to play. I definitely think he's going to play. I know a lot of people will look at, well, we have so much of the season left to think about. And I get that, but when you think about how he went out last year, it was against this Vikings defense, and then they skid after he got out. But the unique thing about the Vikings defense and the talent that Aaron provides that almost no other quarterback can is his ability to get better when he's outside the pocket and he extends the plays. Well, if he can't do that, he's playing right into the hands of the Minnesota Vikings because their defensive scheme is we want to keep him in the pocket. A lot of teams try to do it. The Vikings tend to do it better than most.
They got the personnel.
They have the personnel to get it done. You have Everson Griffin on one end, you got Hunter on the other, and then you got Linville Joseph and Richardson in the middle that can force pressure up the middle, keep him in that pocket, collapse the pocket, but then you got 2 guys who can run with Aaron Rodgers on the outside that can keep him in contained.
Is that Vikings defense also, we know they're a good defense, but is one of their trademarks is discipline? Is that another reason why they can?
They're a very disciplined defensive team. When you look at Mike Zimmer and what he brings to the table, he demands a lot of everyone, not just his starters, because you see them rotating. Everson Griffin was mic'd up last week, and he comes off the field and he's running and he says, man, this rotation is awesome. If we can do this all year. They stay fresh, but he demands the same out of Everson Griffin as he does the 4th and 5th and 6th rotation of man. And so in his secondary, they're very disciplined. You don't see this defensive team getting a lot of penalties, making a lot of forced errors on themselves, shooting themselves.
And don't give up a lot of big plays.
And they do not give up big plays, something that the Packers thrive off when Aaron is outside of the pocket.
And I think, I'm sorry to interrupt, everyone, I think, if you think about Sunday night's game, the first image that comes to mind is the pass to Geronimo Allison. But the play that won the game was a short pass where Randall Cobb, you pointed this out earlier, see, I think it's a great point. Nobody could tackle him.
No, you got to get him on the ground.
And that Vikings defense tackles well. They have, I think, the best safety in football in Harrison Smith. And so, like, they've got the personnel to, it is, I think, the worst team in the NFC and maybe the worst team in the NFL. It's them or the Jags to have a quarterback compromised against. To have a quarterback who relies on his mobility the way Aaron does to not be mobile. If he could not have gotten away with what he did against Sunday against this team. As good as the Bears defense is with Khalil Mack, and as good as they were last year, an underrated defense, it helped that Mack wasn't a huge part of the second half because you don't have a pitch count, but it also helped that the Bears don't have the D-line the Vikings do. And so you saw Rodgers dragging his leg.
The Bears don't have the secondary the Vikings do.
It's a great point. They got a great linebacking core that got even better with Mack, but they don't have the personnel. Like, it's a danger. Football's dangerous no matter what. It is particularly dangerous to be playing this team when you're not at 100%.
Okay, forgive me for stating the obvious, but on behalf of people that worry 80% of their day, I don't want to put Aaron Rodgers out there to face this defense. I just don't. If it's week 2 and after what happened last year, what would you say to Packer fans?
The mentality of football players is Aaron Rodgers is going to play in this football game, and that rivalry has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. I would play in the game. The worst time, the time that I jeopardized my health more to play in a game, it was against the Packers, to play against the Packers. And Tyrone Williams hit me early in the game, and I told the coaching staff, get me out here because I can't protect myself.
You were hurt, people should know, before the game. Tyrone didn't hurt you. You were hurt the week before.
In Kansas City, on that raggedy field they have in Kansas City. The grass don't grow and everything, Nick Wright and everything.
With the weird fans?
And so if that was a game, you guys played Kansas City that year, so that means you're playing the AFC West. If the next game was against then San Diego Chargers, would you have played?
Nope. And I had a long streak. I wanted to keep it going, but no. I wanted to play in that game because it is the Packers. When we look at our schedule and it comes out, man, you're looking for when I'm playing the Packers. I'm looking for when I'm playing the Packers, when I'm playing the Bears, and I look to see what month it's in. Do I have to go there in December? Those are the games that you have to win, and those are the things that get players out there. The thing that we haven't talked about, you guys just mentioned at the end, what's the difference between the Bears and the Vikings defense? Let's just talk about their secondary. When they go nickel, they drafted Mike Hughes, first round out of UCF. Last week had a pick 6 against Jimmy G. Sitting there in zone.
Turned the game.
Changed the game. All right. Xavier Rhodes, first round pick. Harrison Smith, best safety, first round pick. Trey Waynes, Michigan State, playing in the slot, first round pick. They got now people talk about the Rams, they got all the big names. But the Vikings have more B-rated players than anyone in the league, them in Philadelphia. That's one of the reasons why they're so good.
Well, let me ask you guys both this. We know Favre would have played because Favre always played. We heard Aaron say after the game,
yes,
he referenced Brett Favre. And so how much, maybe it sounds silly, but how much of that factors into his decision?
Let's not forget that. Let's not forget the man who started that, Bart Starr. There's pressure on everyone that plays quarterback in Green Bay. Aaron feels that pressure, Greg.
Yes, but to your point, when you're sitting behind a Brett Favre who, number one, was a great player, but we know him to be Iron Man. He played through anything. Well, Aaron Rodgers has been hurt, so he's not Iron Man, but his ability to come back from injury is pretty impressive at the quarterbacking position. We thought he was through last year with that collarbone injury. He came back and he tried to play, and had they won against Carolina, maybe we would have saw him more. So him playing through injury and coming back and showing the resilience, that's kind of his trademark. So to be out there, to your point, it's a rivalry game. He's playing against a team that knocked him out. And if he doesn't play, his team has no chance. I don't see Aaron Rodgers not stepping on the field on Sunday.
Can I ask you a quick question, C? What can you do to protect him? What can the Packers do game plan-wise if he's out there not at 100%? Because they can't run the football.
I'm going to tell you what you do. You tell Balaga, you tell every single last one of these guys on this offensive line, don't let him get touched. That is all you can really do. And the rest is up to them. This defensive front is so good. It is on you now. You know you're putting your quarterback in harm's. Everyone knows if he goes out there, he's at risk to get hurt, to get re-injured. Mm-hmm. It's up to that offensive line to not allow their quarterback to get.
All three of you think he's playing on Sunday?
I do.
I do.
Man, Vegas is skeptical, so I'm skeptical. I'm going with the folks in Vegas.
One word. One word.
He played for both teams.
Yeah.
All right.
He's playing.
I mean, we got 30 years of playing. in
Okay,
so Vegas. Hey,
Vegas.
What about Vegas?
I think Vegas played in the league.
Yeah, Vegas played. No, they know more about football than we do.
I just said I'm skeptical. Yeah.
Oh, I did that yesterday. He had a heart attack. Today, he's like, that was great. I like.
Oh my gosh.
Greg, thank you so much.
Jealousy's bleeding
as
out your
always.
ears. I like him more than I like you.
Drinking.
I don't know why. When are you going to get this? I love you. I like him more.
Got it. Why is John Gruden ripping Derek Carr? That's next on First Thing.